welcome to the Priggya Arora Show, where we discuss various aspects of entrepreneurship and alternate career paths in law through conversations with people who have been there and done that. My name is Priggya Arora, founder of PA Legal and Intellectual Property Law Firm in India. And today we have a very special guest, Sanya. Sanya is a dear friend and she works in domain of helping people through her social entrepreneurship venture, and she also believes in learning and she promotes learning of the law among young leaders. And let's directly dive into a conversation with her. Hi Sanya.
Hi Priggya, Happy New Year, and thank you so much for having me on your show. Congratulations on the new show. It's doing very, very well. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Sanya. Sanya, let's directly dive into the question. Tell us something about yourself and why law?
Why law? That's an interesting question. So I won't get into the nitty-gritties of where I did my law, how many years it's been I've been practicing. All of that you guys can find out on my social media profiles. There's a lot of information there. What I would want you to know is that I am more heart than brains. So as a lawyer, that's kind of like an anomaly in in our daily lives, but I prefer doing what my heart tells me to do rather than just going with my brain. Another thing that I want you to know about me is that I'm directionally challenged, both literally and metaphorically. So I get lost very often and I cannot take orders in directions and instructions. So that is another thing that is a major characteristic. It can be a character flaw as well. And one more thing about me is that I am more of a sit by the window, put your headphones on and enjoy the journey kind of a traveler rather than just waiting for the destination to blow me away. So those are some bullet pointers around me. You can just fit me into whatever box you want to. I don't know which box or which category I fit into, but just to tell you a little bit about myself, since we have very little time together. And why law? So there's a huge answer to that. I'll just cut it short. My mom gave me two options. She said that you either go for law or you do IAS. So I chose the easier way out and I picked law. So I took coaching and everything. I remember I was getting into 5-year law after 12th, but I chose to go to LSR instead because I wanted to experience LSR. So first I went to LSR and then I did my 3-year law. And my journey in LSR also made me more interested in why I need to do law. Because, I always say this, and I've discussed this with you also, Priggya, so many times, that I really think that we live in a jungle, especially as women. And, in this patriarchal jungle, it's not enough to just know our rights. We should also know how to enforce them. So I needed to feel empowered, and law seemed to be the perfect route to feel empowered. And that was also one of the reasons why I went for law.
Great, Sanya. Sanya, so you, as you told us, that you are a hard worker, and according to my experience and my personal experience, I find a lot of hard workers in law, but I really find very less people who are hard workers. So can you tell us something about how you landed up into socially conscious work and your journey about it?
Right. Thank you so much, Priggya. And I love how you say hard worker. That's such a nice term, such a nice way to put this in. So what I've grown up in a very, very compassionate home. I've grown up in a home where my mother has instilled the habit of doing seva in Gurdwara ever since we were little kids. I've seen my mother teach neighborhood kids and make sure that they're fed properly. People who come from humble backgrounds. My dad has taken care of not just our food, shelter, and education, but also of all of his staff members, including the office boy and the drivers, taking care of their children's education, throughout their life. And it was not about profits or how much you've accumulated by the end of the year. It was about how much you could give. So I have grown up like that, so it came very naturally to me that I realized at a very young age, and also when I started studying law, that my measurement of success is through the size of my smile, and my smile is the biggest when I see people around me smiling, when I see people around me happy, and I feel like I have caused it. So it's very selfish also, in a way. It's a very selfish thing to want to be unselfish in this regard. um and a very close friend once told me that you should always attach yourself to a mission. Don't attach yourself to an organization. So there should be a mission, and go wherever that mission takes you. So my mission was always about making people around me happy, helping them in whatever way I can. So my study of law, my attempt to understand what our rights are and how to enforce them, my stint with litigation, why I went into the practice of law initially, because I thought that that's the only way to really go out there and in action help people, and do something to make a difference. Of course, I was disillusioned when I started practicing. There were a lot of things that went into it. It wasn't just about going there and securing justice. No, I'm here and I will get what I want for the people who really deserve this. It doesn't work like that. And so I realized that in my first year of practice. So whatever I did, it was, in my own way to help people around me. And that's why I think I became socially conscious, and I took whatever opportunities I was getting. If there were some women that needed some sort of legal awareness around me, I joined legal aid cells in my college, and I also interned at state legal services authority. And that was a very good way for me to also practice, because or learn the skills, because if you're doing it for free, then nobody expects you to be perfect, and then you get to practice without the burden of really being absolutely right in whatever you do. So it was a very nice practical experience for me when I joined the legal aid cell. And then opportunities kept presenting themselves. So the commercial work, the commercial legal side of it, I took a very long time to actually even look at that side, to realize that I need that to feed into this. But this socially conscious work has always been the ultimate mission that I have attached myself to. And that's just how I operate. I don't know any other way.
Yeah, perfect, Sanya. I resonate with you so much that I think that's why we are friends, because I also love spreading smiles in lives of people. And I think my motive is also that my team should be happy. I am happy or not, that doesn't matter. But if my team is happy, I am happy too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just your bright smile does that. The way you smile and the way you talk to the people around you, it's enough to make them so happy.
Thank you so much, Sanya. But the show is about you, so let me ask you another question. So, Sanya, you do quite a lot of pro bono work, and can you tell us that how is it different than the normal legal work we as lawyers?
Right. The disillusionment that I was talking about, Priggya, when I told you that I was disillusioned when I started practicing, I realized that, lawyers, they fight for other people's rights, but it's so easy for their rights to get trampled on a daily basis. And I saw that in litigation. So I was essentially my first client. Okay. I was a woman who was fighting to be taken seriously in litigation. I was a first generation lawyer who knew nobody, and I was fighting to get at least one job or one mentor that could, really help me out in how these things work. And I was not from a national law university, so it was just so difficult to even be considered for interviews at tier 1, tier 2 law firms. So there was a constant battle every single day that I had to fight. And there are a lot of things that I fought for myself when it came to equal pay, when it came to decent pay as a young lawyer, as a junior lawyer, and making sure that your self-respect remains intact while you're just being attacked by your seniors left, right, center for nothing. So there was a lot of things that I had to fight for myself. And I would say that it wasn't really profitable. It wasn't really something that actually helped me grow monetarily, but it did help me grow as a person. So the socially conscious work, and then the opportunities kept presenting themselves where I did not have a lot of options to really think that okay, this can be my main line of career, because that is not something that of course we all know it's not something that pays you very well, or it's not something that you can sustain on. But then you have to really understand, like I said, that ultimately what is it that you want to do. So when opportunities came to me, I began consulting for NGOs that work for child education. I became the legal advisor for POSH for a lot of organizations where the main area of focus was to train the ICC members, the Internal Complaints Committee members. I was nominated as the Vice President of Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce Industries in India. So for that, for the Anti-Sexual Harassment Committee. So when all of those things were happening, I realized that this is what I want to do, that really makes me happy, that I really, really care about. And then there is commercial legal work, which feeds into this. That commercial legal work is also very important. It's different when you're doing it, when you're doing it as a job. It's very different, because then you don't have a choice to say that okay, no, I don't believe in this, so I don't want to do this. You have to do this, even if it makes any sense to you or not, even if you resonate with it or not. And so that is something. But the practice of it, the ability to really get those numbers and really be of monetary value to your organization or to the seniors or to the people that you're working with, that is also essential for you to grow as a lawyer. So the commercial legal work, it helped me grow as a lawyer, and the social legal work that I did, it helped me grow as a person. And the former actually fed into the latter. So this is how I decided I wanted to go about it. I did not want to choose one or the other, but I wanted to do both in a way that made me feel like okay, now I'm in a comfortable position, because I also have to sustain myself. And at the same time, I want to do what makes me happy, so I want to do it all. So when it came to paid commercial legal work, I eventually started taking cases that were pertaining to contracts, drafting and negotiation, trademark registration, opposition, minor league litigation, not those long drawn legal battles, because as they say, you have to pick your battles, and I chose to pick the battle that really mattered to me, which was to be able to fight for people who can't fight for themselves. So that's how it just went, and there was no plan or anything. It just happened. The opportunities just presented themselves, and I took them. So like I said, I work with my heart. So I guess that's why I attracted those kinds of opportunities around me where I could be of use, and I'm blessed. I'm actually blessed to have been in a position to help.
Great, Sanya. I love the way you explained, two verticals. One was social legal work and other was commercial legal work, and how I think somehow they mix up with each other, in the sense if we do one, the other work also starts pouring in itself. So I think like if we are doing
Exactly.
commercial legal work, pro bono cases will come to us. If we are doing pro bono, commercial legal work will come to us. So I think they can go hand in hand, and it's better to just explore things and find, as you said, find the work which gives you happiness. So Sanya, now now as you just now told that You have worked in education, you have worked in child development, you have worked in women empowerment, in POSH, and in many other areas. Which is the field which resonates, like with which your heart resonates the most?
So, anything that allows me to really help resonates with me. So at the end of the day, I think law is not just a profession, it's not just a job, it's not just a way to really make money. It's also a service to the society. And law is, that's why we say it's a noble profession. And, it's just because it has that significance. Everybody is governed by law, but not everybody knows how to really enforce their rights and how to also protect themselves against the law. And that's why lawyers are important. It was always, just the way you see it. And that's how I went about it. So it was no special cause that was really close to my heart. Like I said, I just took the opportunity that I got. And tomorrow, if I'm open to more opportunities, I'm open to work for environment, I'm open to work for food security, I'm open to work for poverty and hunger and shelter, and helping. When I was interning with state legal services, we also helped a lot of runaway couples. They get these shelters and everything, and to protect them against jihad and things like that. Love jihad and all of those things. So I'm open to everything. Just if I am capable of helping, and if there's a cause in front of me that I'm capable of making a difference to, I would love to do that. There are no favorites here.
Great, absolutely perfect. So now can you tell us something about Lawchakra and your legal education initiative?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much. I don't know if Priggya knows about it, so my experiences as a junior lawyer after I started practicing and after I graduated, they were really not that great. And since I was a first generation lawyer and there was no mentor and no contact whatsoever, it took me a lot of embarrassing mistakes and a lot of dhakkobazi from one place to another to really learn some things. And I got an opportunity to condense all of those learnings and experiences into this one course called Litigation Basics. And when that course came out, and it was the first course that I developed and I taught, and I taught that course to over 800 students. And very, strangely, we did not just get law students, even though we were targeting law students. We got junior lawyers also. We got people who were working as professors, people who were retired policemen from all across the country who wanted to start their practice in litigation. And they wanted to learn the basics of it. They wanted to get an introduction, a refresher of some sort. And when that course was so well received and so well appreciated, that people actually came to me to tell me how the course had changed not just their professional lives, but also their perspectives or their own personal growth, to be balanced, to be able to see things from the other person's perspective, to be careful about things in your own personality, to not just, it's not just about knowing the case, it's also about knowing yourself and knowing the opposite party and knowing the judge and, things like that. And there were students and there were so many learners from different backgrounds, and they came up to me and they told me how the course had actually made their lives easier and their lives better. And that really stuck with me. And it made me very happy, happier than I'd been before, doing whatever I was doing. So I decided to stay happy. And after that, with that, I decided to come up with Lawchakra. And the idea was basically that, how the times keep changing and laws keep changing with the time. So there is this wheel of law, and a lot of people, they get trampled upon by the wheel of law because they don't know how to stay afloat. Sometimes they don't know, they don't have enough resources. Sometimes they don't really know what they need to know. And you have to find a way to roll with the wheel of law. So, there was this idea of wheel of law. So I just coined the term Lawchakra, and I was like, Lawchakra will be an umbrella of sorts, where different people from different background can come together to have each other's backs, as first generation lawyers or anybody who thinks that, they did not get the opportunities they deserved. So they could come together and upskill together, rejoice in each other's victories, and be there for each other's setbacks, and not lose their individual identities in the name of the organization or in the name of the place where they are. And that was, the idea behind Lawchakra. And it was so Lawchakra was born in July 2021, and till now we've successfully run 2 internship/mentorship programs, and we've conducted several workshops and webinars which were free of cost. We create a lot of content on our Instagram and YouTube channel also now, where we are trying to simplify complex legal topics and make them fun and easily understandable, to actually enable access to quality legal education and legal awareness for everybody, no matter where they're coming from, no matter what their gender is, no matter who they know or don't know. So, that is what we are trying to build. So in the year 2022, we are hoping to also, come up with advanced mentorship programs, to come up with some more practice-oriented courses like litigation basics, to be able to really make a difference in the lives of students and people who are struggling with the profession of law in any way possible. So that's the idea behind Lawchakra.
Beautiful, Sanya. Now, this makes me remember, like, one of my professor, he used to say that we cannot be professors of law, we can be learners of law, because law is ever evolving.
Yes.
And I think
Absolutely.
because of this, I live each day studying law, making myself better. And I'm sure for you also, you have to be better in order to teach someone. So perfect, very beautiful explanation. And the kind of work which is, as I told you, something which is really related to heart
work.
hard work.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So Sanya, now, to conclude, can you give key takeaways to young lawyers or people who want to enter into the field of legal entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, or young lawyers who just want to, I think, someone like me who I was 5 years ago, wanted to leave my job and start my own thing, but I was just too fearful doing that. So can you tell us something to 5 years older version of Priggya?
Priggya, in fact, like, we've had so many conversations, and you have taught me so much about this. And I remember, like, we've had a lot of distressed calls where you've told me, and I've also shared my experiences with you. But just to expand that into everybody's knowledge around us, whoever is listening to us, the one thing that I would say is, please be unapologetic. We apologize a lot, and especially as women, and I've said this a lot of times, that we don't even know what we're apologizing for, but our instant reaction is to apologize. And the reason we do it, because we lack self-confidence, and that we don't really know ourselves. So when anybody around us tells us, okay, this is where you're wrong, this is what you are doing that shouldn't be done, you automatically tend to believe them and say, yeah, maybe they are right, I am wrong, and I need to change my ways, so I'm sorry for this. Don't do that. Know yourself better than anybody else, so nobody, no Tom, Dick and Harry can come and exploit your insecurities against you. So know yourself, know what you want to do, and be unapologetic about it. Don't apologize for wanting equal pay for equal work. Don't apologize for wanting a healthy work-life balance. Don't apologize for saying that you deserve respect just because you are a human being. Regardless of you being a junior or you just being graduated, doesn't mean that anybody can treat you any way they like. Don't be apologetic for really not going for unpaid internships. Don't be apologetic. Number one. Number two, just know yourself better than anybody else. So, it'll help you in your interviews. It'll help you in interacting with other people. It'll help you really identifying what are your career goals and what are your career objectives. And we live in a different world now where we don't have to choose one or the other. Like I just said, you can carve your own path. It can be this and that. It doesn't have to be this or that. There are so many different ways to really utilize your law degree now, and it's better than it was, say, 5 years or 6 years or 7 years ago. So Prigya had to be extraordinarily brave 5 years before our time today, to really decide to quit her job and get into entrepreneurship. But now you have so many resources, and you have so many options and so many examples. You don't I For the longest time I kept looking for a mentor. I kept thinking that, okay, the day I find my mentor is the day I'll truly understand what this means, I'll truly grow as a lawyer. But it's okay if you don't find one. You can be your own mentor. When you get your law degree, after you get your license, you can practice law, and you can just be unafraid to make mistakes. Just act, just learn from them. At least do something. Try, take your own cases, go to court every day, watch live proceedings, talk to a lot of people. You have access now to a lot of things. Build your LinkedIn profile, interact, build your own network. Just always be curious to learn, to grow, to do something. Whatever your heart, wherever your heart lies, whatever your heart tells you to do, whatever you think you can be good at, whatever you think you can enjoy. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to stick with it for the rest of your life. So if you do something that doesn't really make you happy, you're going to have a miserable life. And that's not worth it. That's not worth all the money in the world. So just pick what you want. And if you want two things, just find a way to combine those two things, and just keep growing, keep learning, stay curious, be brave, and never ever think that you can't do something. The only thing you can't do is what you don't want to do. That's it. Other than that, nobody else will know what you can or can't do. You yourself will not know what you can or can't do. So just try. Don't be afraid of trying.
Great, Sanya. So I'll reiterate a few points so that it lands up on people's minds. So first thing is know yourself beautifully well, that what you want to do and what makes you happy. Second thing, allow yourself to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, and be a little courageous. Be a little confident to take actions. I personally think this is not what Sanya told, but this I'm giving from my point of view, whatever I have learned in past 5 years. So if you are in action and you are taking action in the right direction, everything will fall into place. Courage will come automatically, confidence will come automatically, because you're not working on your emotions. You are working on the systems that you have created, and you're taking actions irrespective of the fact whether you have good emotions, bad emotions, what kind of life you are living. You have made an action plan and you're working on that. I think confidence and courage automatically comes if you are taking actions continuously. So that's one point from my side as well. So yeah, Sanya, thank you so much for being on the show. Your presence is beautiful, and I hope people resonate with you, and we have a bit number of more hard workers in the profession of law now.
Thank you so much for having me, Prigya. I've loved being here, and I love your show. And congratulations, whatever you do, you put your heart and soul into it. And ever since I've gotten to know you, I've learned so much from you. So thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being there for me, and thank you for having me here, Prigya. All the very best, and a very, very happy new year.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so
Happy New
much.
Year.
Hey there, thank you for attending today's session. If you like today's session, do follow our channel and share it with a friend. My name is Priggya Arora, daughter of inspiring parents, alumna of IIT Kharagpur, engineer turned lawyer and entrepreneur, and now founder of PA Legal, where we help creators and innovators protect their intellectual property. Thank you.